welcome to Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous. I'm Nikki Batgirl D'Angelo, and this is going to be day 7 of the IAE. Before we get started, I just want to say that today is Thanksgiving in America. Now, I know not everybody that listens to this show or owns Star Citizen is an American. It's a big holiday, and a large majority of the population that play this game are from here. And I just wonder why they're making such a beloved day, such a beloved manufacturer be presented on a holiday. You could have made this Alien Day, or you could have made this the small manufacturer's day, but you made it Drake. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Drake, but I do love the design elements of their ships. I think they're some of the best designed ships in the game. So I'm a little bit concerned that we're here on a holiday. Well, whatever. We could complain about this all day long, but we're not going to. Let's get moving. Now that I've brushed off a little bit of the salt, let's talk about Drake. I think Drake has some of the best design elements of all the manufacturers in the Star Citizen verse. They build from the idea that a ship could be inexpensive and shoddily built, but it could still hold its own in a fight. And that's where they started in lore. Some of these ships are a little bit better than that. But when they started bringing out their starter ship, the Scout, this is the Cutter, the original. It is something that I looked at and said, all right, Drake as a starter ship. Because these ships were supposed to be able to swarm you in mass. But if you fired on one, originally they were supposed to be so poorly built that you could take them out really fast, like no armor. But things have progressed over time, and CIG has a different idea for this company, and the design language is just amazing. Whether you do a Cutter Rambler, Cutter Scout, I think they all make a pretty decent starter ship. They're not going to best something like the Titan, but they're going to hold up in the early game, get you started, get you enough money to move up to a different ship. Drake makes some amazing ships, and we're looking at one of them right now. This is the Caterpillar. It's a nice freighter. I would say when you put this against something like the whole CD&E, this is probably a medium freighter, but still, some of the design elements in this ship were built around a time when CIG thought they were going to deliver on modularity. So the Caterpillar's big claim to fame was that you could have all these different modules, from cargo modules and habitation modules and a hangar module and etc. And that's just not going to happen right now. Currently, it's a great freighter. They finally have the doors and the cargo grids working, but the doors don't open in a way that lets you access the cargo bays from the ground. That may change in the future. But even with that limitation, still a great ship. Leaving the 3 Cutter variants and the Caterpillar behind, we're going into a hall with some Drake ships that have a little bit more oomph, a little bit more power, a little bit more punch. And these are going to be the Buccaneer, which is a nice light fighter. It's not my favorite. I still think the Arrow is my favorite, but with the giant gun it has on its top, it really does give you a sense of this is all engine, really fast, a big gun on top. To me, it looks like an interceptor. And it is supposed to be a glass cannon, but I think it's a little bit better than that. So I've had one of these in the past. I really liked it, but I grew out of it because I am a lover of the Arrow. Now this is the Corsair. It is in direct competition with the Aquila from RSI, and that would be the Constellation Aquila. It's a exploration vessel. I love the design of this ship, but this ship is just not for me. I can't find any flaw in it. It has firepower. It has the interior design for people that just like that rustic, minimalistic, and I want a utilitarian feel to it. It's really, really awesome. In fact, I would expect them at some point to make it look like there are Budweiser cans or some kind of beer cans patching holes in the vessel. That's what I would expect from this. It has more than enough space for the crew, nice meeting area, dining hall, and there's just something about this ship that just screams to me 1950s US Air Force, and I'm okay with that. I think for the people that love Drake, this is one of the finest moments in CIG design history. I really, really, really like this ship. It's just not something I want in my hangar at this point, but I will always jump onto somebody's Corsair and crew it and man the guns and have a good day with them as we go out and explore the different planets and moons in the Stanton system. So I had to cut away from that. I walked around that ship just a little bit too long and wound up buying one in my EPTU account. So this is the Herald. It's a data runner. Another ship that was built before any of its gameplay was fleshed out. I like the ship, but I don't know if I am even going to get into this gameplay, and I still don't understand it. So this ship became a Cutlas Red, which was much more important to me with the CCU, okay? Cross chassis upgrade for those of you that are new. And I think the Cutlas Red is going to be something I use a lot more. And that doesn't mean I don't like this ship. With the two huge engines in the rear, you have to believe that the ship is going to be fast. I am doing a lot of cuts in this one. Fortunately, unfortunately, whatever it might be. All right, we have our Cutlasses here and a Vulture. This is going to be a nice haul because this right here is one of the most beloved ships in the game. I have one on my secondary character, Cosmic Cat. I have the one that was sold during one of the Best in Show or one of the IAEs of past. And the purple paint scheme I really like. Cutlass Black is just that end-all be-all all-round ship from cargo to bunker runs to heavy fighter, whatever you want it to be. This thing is pretty good. So what am I saying here? I'm not telling you to go out and get one. And I own one because I do. I don't fly it that often, but I will always think it's a great ship. There's so many variants of this. This particular one is a ambulance variant. So if you're going to play in the medical gameplay, this is a pretty good ship for an early start. And I think it has the tier 3 beds. So you can get rid of most of your superficial wounds with the ship. If you want a tier 2, I think that's what the brand new Terrapin ambulance is about. So the Terrapin Red, whatever you want to call it, that's what that one's going to be about. But we're still waiting on drone gameplay, drone mechanics, when that gets in the game. I think the medical gameplay is going to be all about the Apollo, and then later on, it'll be about Galaxy with its hospital module, and also about Endeavor. So pretty awesome. Really love these ships, and that was just one of them. So that Vulture in the middle, it's just crying for me, and I did a CCU from one of my ships today. I have a Fat Lancer, and I haven't been using it because I have a Star Lancer, and I was looking at it going, what am I going to do with it? What am I going to do? I really don't use it. There's no reason for it to be in my hangar. And I did a cross chassis upgrade to this. The Vulture is early salvaging. It's a great ship. I've rented one in the past, gone out and salvaged, and really liked the gameplay. And ever since I started getting deep into hauling, I really am getting more into the hauling, mining, and salvaging gameplay mindset. So this ship really needed to be in my fleet, and it is now in Batgirl's fleet. Really like it. I can't say anything negative about the ship because I don't know of any other salvagers in the game right now. Maybe later on. I think there's a Misk Fortune coming out at some point. But right now, this is it. All right, we have two very different and very unique variants of the Cutlass. This one's the Cutlass Blue. Remember when I talked about the Titan? All right, so the Avenger has the Avenger Titan. It has the Stalker, the Warlock, and something else. I forget what the last one's called. I think it's one of those Masters of Air ships. So the Stalker would be an early version of this. It's a bounty hunting ship where you would go out, capture your bounty, and then put them in these carbonite-like canisters and take them in and collect your bounty. The ship is pretty cool. It has a wonderful cockpit. I just don't know what the gameplay is going to be like, so I can't recommend the ship at all at this point. But I could recommend this one for a organization. So you can see the rear firing minigun and the two side firing miniguns. This would be great when they have Jumptown in effect. You get a bunch of buddies together, you fly them down to the surface and take over Jumptown. Maybe a couple of these or a trio of these in an org and a Redeemer leading them. That would be pretty awesome, right? So there's a Cutlass Steel. It is a dropship. We have other dropships like the Hoplite Vanguard, and we also have the Prowler by Asperia. So pretty nice ships. As we make our way down to the lower level of the IAE showroom floor, we're going to happen upon the last ships, vehicles that are going to be in today's Day 7 IAE. The first things that we're going to come upon are going to be the Mule. Makes it look like there are three versions here, but it is just one little tiny forklift type of vehicle. Has a little bit of space for a 1CU or 2CU boxes, but it really is about helping you load up your ship. But what I also think it's good for is doing box runs. I think you could carry some boxes in it, and you put this in the back of any ship that could carry it, and if you could land a little bit further away from where you have to pick up the box, this might be good. I'm not sure. I don't own one. I haven't used one. For the penultimate stop inside of the IAE halls, we're in the Holo Hall, and we're looking at some holographic images of the Ironclad. To me, the Ironclad is one of the most Star Wars ships in the game. And that's coming from someone that knows, yes, we do have a B-Wing, yes, we do have an X-Wing, and we even have a TIE Fighter-like ship. But I played a lot of X-Wing, a lot of TIE Fighter, a lot of X-Wing Alliance, and this reminds me of the freighters that were in it. Heavily armed, heavily armored, and really cool. Can't wait for it. But this is the ship that many people are dying to come into the game, especially when Pyro comes out. Yes, it's the Kraken. Release the Kraken. It's a light carrier. It has places for ships to land both inside and exterior, and this is the ship that you take into an area and just control it. I can't wait to see it in game. There's a lot of promise behind this ship, and I'm sure there's still a lot of details and even more mechanics that have to be worked out before the ship comes in the game. And let me tell you, in 2016, when they rolled out I don't even know how big the scale was, but they rolled out a model of that. It was just amazing. And I can't wait to actually be able to crew one, to land my ships on them. That is going to be amazing. All right. No cut here. We're just going over to the Dragonflies. There's nothing I could say about these ships other than buy it in game, enjoy it. They're wicked fun. And if you could ever get into one of the races on Daymar, these things are amazing. I love the hover bikes, but it's always going to be about that first one for me. I have a Nox, I have an X1, I have a Dragonfly, and I love my Dragonfly. I even have a hover quad and a Pulse, but this is always the one that I fall back on. I think it's amazing, and it's something I could only condone buying in-game unless you indeed only have supporting the game as your ultimate goal. All right, folks, it's Thanksgiving. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. You probably won't see this until Black Friday, and I will be working 12 hours a day for the next 4 days. So I will be getting videos out. Hopefully, they will be more than delightful for you to watch, but I can't guarantee it because this time of year, I do get very tired as I'm putting these together. Well, folks, if you like this video, please click the thumbs up button below. If you do subscribe, be sure to click on the bell-shaped icon below and choose all so you get notified of all my future videos. If you are joining Star Citizen, there is a referral code down below inside of the description. Please use that to sign up for the game, and you can get yourself 5,000 UEC credits and potentially some free stuff. And with that said, you all be safe out there, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for watching my videos. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking in the button in the upper left. You can support the channel by going to Patreon by clicking the button in the upper right. On the left, you'll see my latest video, and on the right, you'll see a video that YouTube thinks you will like.